Hello beautiful people, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be talking about how to book high-end brides and grooms into your wedding video photography business in 2024. So let's get into it. Now I do want to preface this by saying that this actually can apply to any wedding vendor at all, whether you're a photographer, videographer, florist, caterer, planner, coordinator, etc., even venues and things like that. All these concepts can apply to you, so if you're one of those vendors, stay tuned, don't click off just because I'm going to be focusing on video production. Alright guys, I'm going to be giving away basically 10 years worth of learned knowledge through heartache, heartbreak, bad times, refunds, etc., etc. So a lot of people are actually charging thousands of dollars for this information, but I'm going to be giving you 7 tips to raise your prices and book high-end paying wedding clients into your business. And I'm basically going to be giving this to you for free. The only thing I do ask is if you do get some value out of this or you like this content, please give this video a like. Also, if you're feeling froggy, subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Or go shop at our Epic Creative Shop. The link is in the description. Okay, so you're a wedding vendor, whether that be a videographer, photographer, anything else, and you want to raise your prices. Tip number 1 is going to be make sure your product matches your prices. If you're just starting out in videography or photography and you're currently charging $700, maybe $850 for your services, and when you look at your photo albums and you look at your galleries that you're sending or your videos and you say to yourself, okay, yeah, that's worth about $750, you've got to get that product quality and value up before you can start asking for more money or going after higher paying clients. To me, that's just the honest way to do business. And there's lots of ways to do that through your storytelling, through your knowledge of filmmaking and photography. So make sure that you're always learning, always improving, because as your product improves, your price will be able to also improve, if you will. Okay, tip number 2, and this is probably the most valuable one, but it's just randomly number 2, is you need to care about the product, aka their wedding video or photos, more than the couple themselves. And this will come across and they will remember it going forward. So on my sales calls, I always actually use that line. I say, you know, chances are I'm going to care more about this video than you are. And I stress the idea and the fact that they can only really do this once, and there might not be another time in their entire life where they're going to hire a videographer to film them at such a high quality, at least. And so even though they're not in a movie, this is going to be about as close as they ever get. And to me, a lot of people in our industry are in this for money, and I get it. This is titled, you know, boost your earnings, but at the same time, if you put in the work, you put in the passion, and you care about their product more than they do, the money will come. So if you don't really care about it and you're just in it for the money, I would say quit and go find something else to do, because that road is going to be, it's going to be filled with a lot more obstacles, and I think you're just going to find that you're not happy, and you might make a bunch of money, but something's going to get tripped up along the way. If you go at it if you go at this thing with the mindset that, you know, this is so important, they're only ever going to get married once, they may only ever be videoed like this once, you know, they're going to have a lot of grandparents that might not be around in the future, this is a great opportunity to give them something that they'll never forget and they'll always cherish. I think you're going to do a lot better if you look at your business that way. And if you don't look at it that way, find something that you do look at that way. It doesn't matter what it is. Just find something that you're passionate about and that you care about. Okay, tip number 3, guys, is take stock for what the client is actually paying for. Okay, a lot of times, especially starting out as new business owners, we just think about the product, and that's super important. Like, they need to be paying for the product, and if the product is at a very high quality, well, they need to pay for it. But I would urge you to just think about, how did you get to that product, right? So my prices over the years have gone up over time, and that's because the time that I've spent learning my craft and going to weddings and spending 14 hours, you know, on a Saturday at a wedding, and then spending 10 hours editing that wedding. Well, I've done that 60, 70, almost 80 times. And so they're not only paying for the final product, they're not only paying for my travel, my hotel, my gear, they're also paying for 10 years of trial and error and experience. So just kind of think about that, because the client really does have to pay for everything. You know, they're not just paying for the video itself. They're not just paying for the hard drive it costs. They're not just paying for your time that day. They're paying for your entire education in the past, and they're getting a better product for it. So you don't have to feel guilty or anything. You just be honest with yourself. If you're just starting out, I wouldn't suggest charging high end. But over time, as you go through the school of hard knocks, if you will, or if you take some actual training, your couples are benefiting from that, so they are going to need to pay for that. And that's like a really good way for you in your own mind to justify, raising your prices and charging a higher premium for your product. Okay, tip number 4 is learn sales. I would suggest reading sales books. Personally, I really like Zig Ziglar. He's like the sales guru of yesteryear. There's lots of books on Audible that he has. And then there's just tons of people. Just look up sales book and, find the top 10 and pick something that you think you might like. But learn sales and do as much sales as you can in person or over the phone. I know a lot of business owners, maybe you're an introvert. If you can get over that, or if you can work past that, you're going to close a lot more sales. And just like now, like YouTube, right? YouTube is video for a reason. Like, people connect more when you're speaking to them. And I can write you an email and try to sell you on something, but it's more valuable for me if I just send you an email to set up a time to either meet via in real life or on Zoom or on a phone call, because I can sell in person so much better. And over time, I've learned that sales is not about tricking people into giving you more money. Sales is more about communicating why it's worth paying the money for your service. So take some time and learn sales. Okay, tip number 5, and this might seem obvious, but you need to start operating in circles in the class that your clients are going to be. And I kind of learned this the hard way. Every now and again, especially in the beginning, you've got to take like a cheap $800 wedding just to make the quota for the month. The problem with that is once you take the $800 wedding, the people that you're doing that wedding for, albeit, great people, there's nothing wrong with, if you can only pay $800 for your wedding, get it videoed for $800. Somebody will do it. The problem for us as business owners is the demographic of people that they are associated with, and their circle of friends and their network is probably in that same class economically. So you're going to get a lot more $800 weddings, not to mention they're probably going to spill the beans about what they paid with you. And then if their friend says, hey, you did Vanessa's wedding, we'd love for you to do ours. Okay, it's $3,800. Well, Vanessa said she only paid $800. Like, why is it so much more? So you kind of box yourself into a corner when you do that. So be very wary about taking super under budget weddings. And then also, if you have a certain price, right? Try not to take an undercut price. You're going to have to learn how to say no to people. And I say no probably 5-6 times a week. I get a lot of inquiries in, and a lot of the potential brides will say, oh, we didn't realize it was that much. Is there any way you can do it for $1,200? And I simply just have to say no, because if I book it, if I say, well, I could go ahead and make this $1,200. If I go ahead and book it, a week later, somebody else might ask for that date that was willing to pay the $4,000. And I've just missed $3,000 because I jumped the gun and I was too eager to get the booking. So whenever you start to get your prices raised, stand your ground, know your value, and try not to take underpriced weddings from the prices you've already set. I hope that made sense. It did. It just felt like it did not make sense. Okay, tip number 6 is get reviews. And it doesn't really matter where you get them, but I do suggest having them live in the same place. So for me, it's Facebook. Most of my clients are going to be viewing this and sharing this on Facebook. I don't know why. Maybe it's better for long form videos, but I will get my brides, grooms, even the moms and family to go give me reviews on Facebook. And what happens is it stacks up, first of all, so you get like tons and tons of reviews, but then also people that are potentially booking with you are going to see those reviews, they're going to see your prices, and subconsciously they're going to say, oh, lots of people are paying this price, so it can't be that crazy, right? Because a lot of people are paying it. So that's the number one thing. But number two, they're going to see reviews such as Forrest's, services were well worth every penny. Like, I've had a lot of people comment about how it was worth the money. So they're actually putting in their reviews that, yes, they paid a lot of money, but it was totally worth it because the product and the service that they got was just out of this world. So make sure you're getting those reviews, especially, obviously, when you have someone who's very, very happy with your work. It goes a long way. And just a side note is a lot of people might not even read the reviews, but when they see you have 38 5-star or 4.5-star reviews, that's just an automatic indicator and validation that your services are worth it. Tip number 7 is a at wedding tip. So when you're at a wedding, be the absolute most personable, kindest, most helpful person you can be. A lot of my reviews, if you actually just go to Facebook and read them, people will say Forrest felt like part of the family. Forrest helped us move tables, and when it started raining, he put his camera down and he did this and he did that. And I will do everything I can to make this wedding go right, and whether that means doing my job or helping somebody else do theirs, or helping somebody who needs help because of something that's happening. This is something that these couples will never forget. I think personally, like, your product's important, but what's more important is you. Like, you are the product. So if you can come across, and not even just come across, just be a good person at the wedding. Like, do everything you absolutely can and be a cheerleader for the photographer and for the caterer and for everybody. It's going to come across, and people are going to recommend you even on a subconscious level just for that reason. So whenever you're at the wedding, just be the most personable, nicest, kindest, helpfulest person that you absolutely can be, and it will go a long way, I promise you. Okay, guys, that does it for this video. I hope that it helped you. I hope you found value in it, and I hope it brings a lot of high-end paying clients into your business in 2024. If you found any value in this video, do one of 3 things, or all of these things for me. Give this video a like, give the channel a sub, because we're going to have lots of more content on this and filmmaking in general. Or if you want to support the channel even more, you can go to the Epic Creative Store. The link is in the description, where we have lots of apparel for you to boast your love for cinematography and photography. We've got t-shirts, hats, hoodies. And now that my rooster is going nuts, I'm going to say goodbye. Goodbye.